I'm Jenna Edwards, founder of Queen for a Day, a nonprofit for children with cancer. We offer quality of life services to hospitalized kids in the form of parties, and Queen for a Day is our major program where we come in and we'll do the girls' makeup, we paint their nails and they get a little tiara. The boys is Hero for a Day with firefighters and police officers and comic book superheroes. So it just gives the kids a couple of hours to come in and be a kid again. We're focusing on them as kids, not the disease, and it's been amazing to see how little something like that can make such a big difference in the kids' lives, and literally have a physical effect on them in that they're less stressed, so they can better accept their treatments. We founded Queen for a Day in 2000, so in June we'll be 10 years old. I've been at Sunshine Suites for October, November, about 4 months now. And it's really made a world of difference for not only for the business in general having like a presence, but just for me personally. And as a business owner, we can all relate to how important it is, to how we feel, and how motivated that we feel, to go to work every day. So to finally be able to literally go to work somewhere is a big difference than from hopping one room to another and changing, maybe changing out of pajamas while I answer emails. So it's made a considerable difference just in my self-confidence and the confidence I have in the business. Queen for a Day has no employees right now, it's just myself, but I manage over 25 volunteers around the country in the form of our local directors. So we have chapters, like I said, all over the country, and we have volunteers in those areas that have been appointed by us to perform the Queen for a Day services in their local area. So I work directly with those people. So in a sense, those could be employees, but no one, not even myself, gets paid for Queen for a Day. Queen for a Day is just now building a presence here in New York, but we have very strong chapters in Detroit. We seem to be heavier in the East Coast and Central time zones, but on the west side of the country not so much. But in Florida we're really strong. We have several chapters in Florida and DC and Philadelphia and the Boston area, so major areas that have facilities that treat kids with cancer. One of the ways that we measure our success is in the impact that we have on the kids. And there are a couple of stories where I just have really been blown away at the impact that we had on one particular child. For instance, there was a teenager who unfortunately did not make it through her disease, but requested that she be buried with her tiaras. But on the other side of that spectrum, we've had a teenager who did make it through, but she was so impacted by the service that she now volunteers with her local chapter and speaks on behalf of the local chapter to other community groups. But outside of that, being on Oprah in 2001 and being in People magazine were huge. And unfortunately, I was so young at the time and still in college, I didn't quite get how to capitalize on that. So while they were amazing opportunities, I do have a little bit of regret that I did not take better advantage of them. What I would do differently about those situations is I know I couldn't with Oprah package the footage and then try to send it out because they own all that footage, but I would have put together some sort of press release that we had just been on Oprah and this is what happened and this is the anticipated air date, and would have tried to have gotten on other national shows like a morning show or something like that. And the same thing with People magazine, because apparently that's how it works. Like once you're on one, then all the other ones want you on there too. I just had no idea that was how it worked at the time. My ideal show nowadays would be Good Morning America. Robin Roberts is one of the morning anchors, and she recently went through a bout with breast cancer. But she's also from Mississippi. I'm from Mississippi. Queen for a Day was started in Mississippi. So I feel like it would be a very appropriate synergy for us to be on Good Morning America with her. The biggest challenge that Queen for a Day has faced in the last 10 years, and simply because the company is me, I get to speak about what's the biggest challenge for me, and that it is only me. I have my mother who's, she helps in supportive ways, but when it comes to chapter development, managing the volunteers, doing the website, the newsletter, our marketing, our fundraising for the national office, that's all me. And the challenge is learning how to delegate that responsibility to other people, but that also comes with finding reliable people. Unfortunately, in the volunteer industry, most of the time we're not people's top priority. So when life happens, we are one of the things that gets put on the back burner. So it's very hard to rely on, or I'm sure even to be a volunteer, but to rely on volunteers for really important, time-sensitive, and deadline-oriented projects. So a lot of times I find that it's almost, I don't want to say easier, but easier to trust that it will get done just to do it myself. But that doesn't guarantee that it gets done. My advice to people starting out their businesses is to get as much support as possible, and don't be afraid to invest in it. I know a lot of times we all want people to do things at lesser, to pay less money or to offer services for free because we're starting out, but you're much better off, paying for services in full, to be treated like a full client. I learned that lesson the hard way, thinking I'm a nonprofit, maybe you'll just donate your services, but it's much, much better and definitely worth the investment to make the investment in doing what's good for your business, even though it's hard and money is always tight and it's never guaranteed that your business will become profitable, but do it the right way and don't cut any corners. My goals for the next 6 months to a year are to maintain the number of chapters that we currently have, which is 25. What I would rather see for the current chapters we have is that they increase their activity rather than increasing the number of chapters to try to increase our activity. My personal goal is to raise more funds. I haven't figured out a number for that just yet, but I know it can be done, and I want to push myself more to put us out there more and to ask more. But I also eventually, if not in a year, but somewhere in the near future, would like to expand to include other illnesses officially, particularly pediatric HIV/AIDS.